Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours. A little bit of an early edition, but we're blessed to be here with the Double B, my mentor, Blaine Bartlett. Blaine, thank you for joining us.
Hey, absolutely. My pleasure. Always. I love being here. This is a great show.
And it's growing. So we've just been blessed with 746 or so episodes. And Blaine's been here from the start with the soul of business and moving possibilities into reality. If you haven't followed Blaine Bartlett, if you are ignoring the golden nuggets of extreme personal and professional development, then you are in the right place because Blaine Bartlett has delivered for almost as long as I've been alive these nuggets and wisdom beyond belief. Well, Blaine, we're going to bring on our first guest. I'm going to let you introduce him because I have the wrong notes in front of me, but I will find the right notes if Gigi will resend them to me. And oh no, I know what happened.
Yeah. Click.
I was looking in IG, not office hours. So the notes aren't there, but go ahead. We'll get it going, and I appreciate you introducing Jason for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Our first guest today, Jason Brown. Yeah, you've worked with Jason, and I'm going to just put a plug in for your one-on-one coaching and whatnot. Jason is a product of that, and we've got some real good stories coming up here. But right now, there's two things that I think Jason wants to actually be working with. There's, you can see in the box underneath his name there, founder of Deliveri. Deliveri hasn't launched yet, but when a small business is looking to go direct to consumer, a lot of businesses are direct to consumer types of businesses. One of the things that they run into are some of the logistical hurdles of getting product A to point B where the consumer actually lives. And Jason has got a fascinating and I think a pretty innovative take on how you can actually solve that problem. And that's one of the things that entrepreneurs are known for, is identifying and then solving a problem. So Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Jason, because I have a more intimate knowledge of you as an entrepreneur, and so many of the community members that we have are facing a different type of economy and technology today. For you, how are you dealing with the financial tightening that has occurred over especially the last 6 months, and even more importantly, the speed in which technology is changing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think not only are people starting to tighten their belts a little bit, I think, especially if you look at it from a macro perspective with consumer spending, that's an interesting turn of events, I think. But we may, on my side, where we help e-commerce businesses ship their products anywhere in the world, essentially, if people are not buying things online, then we're not shipping things, right? But I still do see that people, whether it's purchasing more frequently versus larger single purchase scenarios, right? So people are maybe buying less often, but maybe they're making bigger purchases. So that's something that we're seeing a little bit of. And then on the other side of that coin, just trying to get the product out there. We're getting ready to launch soon, and having worked with you as my coach earlier this year, it's been a great experience.
The idea of supply chain management. Yeah, I'm doing a show later today called The Power of You, and we're featuring for the next 3 weeks, I think, Edwards Deming's 14 points of basically total quality management, and his whole philosophy was organized around not measuring at the end of the journey, the qualitative nature of the product or service that's being delivered at the end. He said, build it into the process as you're going along. If you build it into the process, the metric at the end is going to be just, a confirmation more than anything else. There's some common logistical barriers that often hinder, an organization's ability to deliver. on some things here, and I've certainly run into those myself. Building into the process, yeah, what are the elements that you're putting in place that, from a quality standpoint, when it gets to the point of I got what I ordered when when it was promised, what's the process that you're attending to that makes it unique?
So that's I think what we're actually servicing, right? So if you're an e-commerce business that is paying attention to the quality of the entire process from beginning to end, what most e-commerce businesses do is they pay a lot of attention to the marketing, the sourcing of the product, the quality of the product, and then selling the product. But what they don't really spend a lot of time on is, now they've sold the product, do I need to provide a good shipping experience
Right.
so that that recipient of my item has some brand loyalty, some brand affinity to my brand, so that they in turn come back and buy again. So if that if the shipping costs are really high, right, that's going to deter about 2/3 of all of your customers, even at checkout. They're not even going to complete the purchase as soon as they see that shipping cost is exorbitantly high. So we bring that down. But then, of course, if you don't provide tracking information, tracking updates, branded tracking pages are statistically proven to increase buyer retention. Ensuring your packages, right, can increase trust. So all these different things that already exist out there, right? There's enterprise level tools that provide these services, but they're all fragmented. So as a small business, especially, you can't really afford those tools. And the ones that do exist, they don't have everything in one platform. So to your point about quality from beginning to end, in the e-commerce space, a lot of people don't really get more than halfway, right? And that's a great point you bring up. And that's something that we focus heavily on, because we see that second half, the post sale, is essentially being neglected in a lot of cases, especially for the smaller businesses.
Spot on.
And I think Deliveri, when you deal with the process of e-commerce and the logistical flow in that last mile, 80% of business is lost in managing, developing, not selling. And there's another issue that you have to deal with that may be a benefit for you, is you're primarily focusing on Latin America to America, is the tariff situation. How have you dealt with that varying critical business issue of tariffs?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting year to be launching a international shipping platform. Didn't really see that coming to an extent, but it actually has served us. It's actually been a little beneficial for us, because what's ultimately happening is not just the tariffs being an issue, but it's also the de minimis, which a lot of people don't really know about. De minimis, which is the threshold at which you can ship into any country under a certain amount. So the US, it's $800. If you're shipping from Mexico or Brazil or Argentina into the US, as long as the value of that product's under $800, you don't pay any duties and taxes, no tariffs. However, we just got rid of that from to China. So everything coming into China now has to go through what's called informal entry. So they have to pay their tariffs. But the problem with that is most small businesses, which are shipping goods under $800, they don't have a way to identify what that cost is going to be, especially shipping into the country. So to your point, Latin American businesses who we ultimately serve, they're just basing their sales on going under the de minimis into the US. But if that changes, which it could, I think right now it's delayed. They've delayed that portion of it for the Latin American countries. But if that does change, every small business is going to have a tool or a service that tells them what those duties and taxes are. So we actually built that when all this started happening. We built that product, or we built that feature into our product within a week. So we went in, studied it, understood how to query those rates and query those costs, and not only show you what the upfront costs are, but we can also pay it for you. So once you pay through our platform, we will e-file it on the back end. And that way, when it gets into that country, it goes straight through customs. You don't have to worry about a customer rejecting it and not paying it, and your product stuck in that country.
Yeah, the exponentiality, as Blaine and I know on the international side of rights, even with books, and I know as well, and TV and movie rights are more valuable when you're able to amplify them worldwide. Delivery will be assisting those people. We're pre-launch right now, looking for Deliveri. Go to ondelivery.com/pre-launch and learn more about how you can expand and amplify your business around the world. Someone staying on top of all the critical business issues and providing a terrific platform for more efficient, effective, and statistically successful sales. Deliveri is going to provide us a great unity of commerce. Thank you so much, Jason. I look forward to working with you further.
Thank you, guys.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Great to meet you, Jason.
Pleasure.
Good luck.
That's an incredible business and very timely.
Yeah, you've been
not easy.
Not easy. No.
We have an international flavor today, and we have Justin Papadakis here with us. Easy for me to say, Deputy CEO and Chief Real Estate Officer at the USL, the United Soccer League. Welcome to Office Hours. We appreciate you being here, Justin.
David, good morning, and thanks for having me on to talk about soccer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't even know if you know this, but our USL team out here in Orange County, Warren Moon and I, we were the title sponsors with Sports One Marketing, and have been involved with the USL when the numbers were much smaller in American soccer as far as professional went. They've always been huge, believe it or not, since even the 70s for the amateur soccer side, for kids soccer, the youth sports side of it. But still, the USL's expanding across the country. It's growing. It's also revitalizing a lot of underserved areas with these smaller stadiums that can be used for a variety of different events and for the communities and our country as a whole. But I had a curious question. In this growth and expansion, how has it impacted the local entrepreneurs?
Well, David, I think it's a big part of our mission. We've really centered USL on building these stadium anchored districts, and the reason for that is soccer has so much impact on the field, but we wanted to make sure that it had more impact off the field when USL is involved. And so soccer is different than other sports. You know, we're a 2-hour fixed window. We have one stoppage of play. And so the fan journey is very different for a soccer fan than a baseball fan. So if you're a baseball fan, the game is 3 hours to 5 hours. There's eight or more stoppages of play between innings. And if you're a soccer fan, the game's 2 hours. You're probably 20 years younger, and there's one stoppage of play. And so the result is our fans go out before the game and they go out after the game. And a lot of the consumption takes place outside of the stadium. That means that our local business owners are really getting the economic impact from these events held in our stadium. So it's a big part of our mission, and I think a big part of why USL has billions of dollars of stadium anchor development underway right now.
Yeah, my niece is a goalie, national team member goalie age group, and she loves the game. I mean, I remember taking her to the game when she was 3 years old. She could barely walk, and the ball was bigger than she was. The most popular game on the planet, and right now, as I understand it, USL has got some plans to move into Division One, as an expansion piece. 2027, I believe, is what you're targeting here. What's the right now? You're looking more at a younger demographic, and I say younger demographic just in terms of your whole business model. What's the positioning play for Division One, and how will it impact your current business model? What are you looking for as an upside on that?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. So when we started this journey back in 2008, my dad who's our CEO, had a really interesting idea, but one that is commonplace around the world. And that is, in the United States, you have this major minor league construct. You have Major League Baseball and you have minor league baseball. Um, and around the world, you have like the Spanish league, La Liga, isn't a minor league to the Premier League, which is the biggest and richest league. It's just another league. And so I think the best way for the American fans that we tried to explain it early on was it's like the SEC and the Big Ten, right? There's one is not above or development below the other. You just had two, in this case, conferences playing together. And so back when we started this, just for points of context, I think on all accounts, even though that was our positioning goal, we weren't minor league. We played in high school stadiums, and it just wasn't teams were $50,000, right? And so it wasn't a major league product. Fast forward to today, where we have teams now selling for over $100 million. Our championship game last year was in Colorado Springs on CBS, and one of our smallest media markets, the MLS, the major league, had New York versus LA, the two largest media markets, in a better time slot from a viewership perspective, and we outrated their final. So that would be like, again, minor league baseball out rating the World Series, right? Like that would be kind of impossible to think about. And so I think we're still early on in our journey, but we've shown even today that we can have as passionate of fans as the major leagues. Their stadiums will be bigger. Their payrolls will largely be more than us. But what we saw the opportunity is that the way soccer is developed in the United States, um, fans want to support their local team, and then they want to watch the best in the world. And unlike the NBA, NFL, MLB, who are the best in the world by 1,000 miles, the MLS, isn't in the top 10 leagues in the world. And so in Orange County, I think, maybe some people see themselves as part of the larger, Los Angeles metropolitan market, but you're really proud to be from Orange County. Right. And so when LAFC comes, we play the MLS in a tournament every year. When LA Galaxy or LAFC comes, you as a resident of Orange County, you could take on Los Angeles as a fan and supporter of Orange County. And I think that dynamic, and then along with our Division I, as you mentioned, will be promotion relegation, which is this concept around the world. And I think the easiest way, again, for fans who aren't soccer fans, is to think you have a playoff at the top of the table and at the bottom. In American sports, you have a playoff at the top. And so if your team isn't in the playoff hunt, so to speak, the rest of the season doesn't really matter, except for maybe you want them to lose so you get a higher draft pick. Right. That's not what sports is all about, in our opinion. So when we want to create that drama, create every match that has a consequence, promotion relegation is going to be a huge differentiating factor, because every game will matter. And I think that's why fans are so drawn to USL.
And the construct coming from the sports agency side of things and the development of players, I think, has helped develop the community around it. You're looking at having over 150 pre-professional teams in 200 markets to build awareness. And, coming from a bigger sports background, I always said that beyond anything else, moms will literally starve to make sure their kids are trained or on the appropriate team with the appropriate equipment and uniforms. And so when we can have the younger kids wanting and aspiring and inspired by the USL, I think that's part of why you get such great attraction. I'll tell you, the only thing that's disappointing about this interview is I told Warren we should have stuck it out with our Orange County team. At the time, believe it or not, I think our team was worth $2 million
Mm.
at the time with Sports One Marketing, and we were playing at UC Irvine as well. Had one of the better teams, and I'm sure it's worth over 100 million now.
Yeah.
Just another one of Dave Meltzer's great financial decisions, which is why people around the world have me mentor them in finance. I always tell my wife, who'd have thought that I had to lose everything in order to get credibility within the financial world? But I did it, and I did it on my own. So, Justin, we're looking forward to reconnecting with the USL. What a great league. It's also just a great community builder, which is what my mission is. Probably one of the best leagues to build community and real grassroots community support. That's why they have $3 billion in active capital and another $2 billion expected in this year. Let's reconnect, Justin. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on all your success.
Thanks for having me on.
Great to meet you, Justin.
Congrats. Take care. All right, we're rocking and rolling at 5 a.m. here in Pacific time, and I am not sure that Alex's alarm went off, but oh yeah, he's here. Good.
He is. Yeah, Alex.
It's funny when we do 5 a.m. We aren't as diverse for whatever reason it is. Maybe it's because some people have to get more time to get prepared. I don't know, but
that's the
a lot of
illusion.
times Thursday 5 a.m. is the middle-aged white man edition of office hours. The unlearned edition, meaning these are three men that need to unlearn a lot of stuff. But here we go. We're going to bring our friend on here with us today, giving me out of Vancouver. I was just up there for Web Summit, Blaine. It was absolutely gorgeous.
I'm looking at Vancouver Island right now.
All right, you're basically in Vancouver. Alex Philippuk is here out of Vancouver, CEO and founder of Ideal Siding, idealsiding.com. And we're going to talk about franchising, which is such a great business model for so many different entrepreneurs. Welcome to Office Hours, Alex.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Blaine. Yeah, nice to be on this show.
Of course, great having you. So, franchising to me is one of the best ways to become an entrepreneur. And but selecting the correct franchise is a difficult challenge because there's so many different opportunities, and a lot of people don't have a certain amount of capital or knowledge or experience. For you, what differentiates the siding business as a franchise comparatively, and what should people look at as a benefit to franchise siding?
Before starting Ideal Siding, I went to talk to any franchise consultant or person in franchising that I could find, and I was asking why nobody is doing franchising and siding.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard maybe 50 really good answers, and at some point I realized that there are a lot of good reasons why nobody's doing it. And only one person said that under particular circumstances it actually might work. And the condition number one was, do you provide any value long term? Like if you not just train someone how to do it, but why would those people stay with you and keep paying royalties? Condition number two was, which people do you want to join your franchise? What kind of people, what kind of culture you would have? That those people will be coachable, and those people will actually be the people that's building the business you're proud of. And we answered those two, and that kind of allowed us to grow to 83 locations in a little over 3 years. So it's very difficult to build franchise in home services space, home improvement space. And I applaud everyone who is successful in this space.
The idea of franchising, there's people will think about it, and at least this is my experience of this. Somebody will look at buying a franchise as kind of a business in a box, and then now I'm set up and ready to go. I think oftentimes what's missing though is the reputational cachet that can come with being that small box operator in that small town, or where I may be living, and that sort of thing. How had and you touched on this a little bit, Alex, but the reputational component of being part of this organization, how has that served? How did you develop the marketing concept for that, number one? But secondly, how do you see that serving your franchisee as they develop their business? Putting siding up on a home, but they're doing it with a different cachet. There's something else that is behind that is providing a value.
Yeah, it's a great question. We are lucky that the space is not very competitive. Like, we don't have brands that people recognize and they say, oh, if for siding, because normally people will do siding maybe twice in their lifetime, replace their siding. So, but once they start looking, we want to be that company that they're choosing. My background is computer science and finance, and I had a lead generation company. So we were the largest lead generation company in siding. And now it's easy to launch locations because we already know how to generate leads in that space. We were bringing tools that we were using for other clients in much more competitive industries to siding renovation, which is not as competitive as most other industries. And it was like bringing tanks to the battlefield with soldiers. It just was unfair advantage. And when franchisee joining us, we're not expecting homeowner to know our brand or know any brand in the industry, because average person will not know any roofing company name brand in the roofing company services, or windows or flooring. I know a lot of brands because I'm in the industry, but average person will never know. But as soon as they start searching for the company, we won't stand out and say, well, this is why you would choose us. And I think marketing is great, but as long as your product is great, this is where you win. So for us, it was, how do we engineer the product and value proposition to the homeowner that allow us to win? And we picked three things. One is we can price match any company in any market because of our business model, because we centralize all the expensive stuff as a franchisor to in-house. The franchisee don't need to have it. Then we do exterior designs. We have exterior designers in-house. They're free for people, and normally people will pay like $2,000 for exterior design consultation, and now it's free. And then the third one is we provide 25-year workmanship warranty, because we don't train installers. We only pick the most experienced installers in each market. So imagine you're a homeowner and somebody comes in and says, you'll get the best warranty. We will walk your spouse through, because typically it's a female business. Like, men don't really care about their siding. Female do. So
that's true.
It's like we will walk your spouse through process of choosing design, styles, everything. We'll give you the best price as well. It's hard to lose that. So we try to win on value proposition, knowing that they'll love our brand, but they probably will forget about us in a year or even in a week, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And because of that, real quickly as we finish up, marketing's different. When you're Anderson Windows, you're marketing worldwide. When you're a siding company, as a franchise, I believe your marketing efforts would be for word of mouth referrals, especially because you're one-sided decision maker. The woman is one who will refer other women in the neighborhood as well. What's the cost of the franchise, and how's the marketing budget different than a normal, CPG restaurant, auto dealer franchise model?
To launch our franchise, on average, is about 70,000, and that's it. Like, it include training, travel, everything. So we are probably we're the lowest cost franchise right now. Maybe the one that is lowest is commercial cleaning, when you actually do the cleaning.
Yeah.
But we specifically designed a model that is very, very low overhead and low entry barrier, and as a result, we can attract a lot of great people, and capital is actually not a barrier for them. And I tell people, if you don't have 70,000,
do you provide financing for the 70 grand?
we don't.
Okay.
They can get SBA loan, but we learned earlier that if you don't have 70,000, you might reconsider starting a business, because
Yeah.
you need to have working capital. You need to have something for marketing. You might be self-employed, but if you want to start a business where you manage people, you need a little bit of capital.
I love that. Well, we're always looking for the best models, the best opportunities, options, and touches of favor. Ideal Siding, is it in the United States or only in Canada?
Well, we have only 20 locations in Canada. The rest is in States. 63 locations in States.
Beautiful. Check it out. It sounds like a great business venture. I will tell you, with everybody's concern about AI, these types of businesses are only going to be more valuable, because as much as we love AI, it's not going to do your siding. And get on the side of success. Reach out to idealsiding.com. Alex Philippuk is the leader of this great organization, CEO and founder of Ideal Siding. Thank you so much. Enjoy the weather up there in Vancouver with Blaine. You guys are blessed.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Blaine.
Thanks, Alex.
Have a great day.
What a great business. I'm telling you, I'm looking more and more, more on the PE side of rolling up electricians, plumbers, siding, roofing, the things that nobody wants to do anymore, but they definitely will need.
Nothing operates without it.
Yeah, you can't chat GPT siding. It won't just install itself, or your electric or plumbing or other things. Huck Finn said somebody has to paint your fence. You get your friends to do it, but you can't get AI to paint your fence. Even Huck Finn would have a difficult time with that.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of Huck Finn, not to age us, what's your takeaway of the day, my friend? I woke you up so early. We might as well get something out of it. What do you think?
The major takeaway I got today was, basically triggered off of our first guest. Obstacles, are literally, opportunities in disguise. So when we were talking about minimus, barriers to entry, from a tariff perspective, when and he actually made the comment, this was an unexpected. We did, yes, where'd this come from? Now it's one of our greatest assets. How we're able to actually work with our supply chain to address the tariff issue. It became something that actually lets us stand out. So the ability to take an obstacle and translate it into an opportunity, both as an operational opportunity, but also as a marketing opportunity.
I love it. For me, it's from all three guests of mine who, I've worked with Jason directly as a one-on-one client of mine. I have, been a part of the USL early on,
Right.
and looking at what I do with Rocket Plan, sitting on their board out of Vancouver, in that exact space, and looking at the opportunities, as you suggest, that exist in the last mile of business, the contractor side of the business, the painting of the fence business. What comes to mind is things happen very slowly, then all of a sudden. And Jason's right there. Things are happening very, very slowly, but you can see how even things that other people see as negatives help to accelerate, as you suggest, things happening all of a sudden. I've been a part of the USL and how slow that took, and now $5 billion. And then, looking at the siding business very slowly, I'm sure Alex, started and built that business, learned that business, had a siding business, and then now things are happening all of a sudden with so many locations, and with the right business model and price point. These people have unlimited opportunity, and so do we. That's why we do this every single day. And Thursdays is the Soul of Business Day with the incredible Blaine Bartlett. He is my mentor, a mentor to so many of the world's greatest thought leaders, business owners, and corporations. He moves possibilities into reality. That's simply put. Remember, the simple things to do are simple not to do. But Blaine Bartlett will simply teach you how to do it. At Blaine Bartlett, the double B, at Blaine Bartlett. Check him out. Reach out if you want to be in a position and desire to be somewhere that you'd like to be, Blaine will give you the directions and inspire you to do so in an accelerated, aggregated manner to compound exponentially your outcomes. Blaine, as always, thank you for going out of your way for our community and particularly for me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You fly safe. Enjoy your time in New York. I'm looking forward to what happens.
Always, me as well, and I get to be with my family while I'm doing it, so I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
You bet.
You got it. The incredible Blaine Bartlett, everyone. We are in episode 746 or so. I can't wait till the 1000th episode where I'm like approximately come and join us, celebrate with us with approximately 1,000 shows. I know we've had thousands of interviews, and I think 746 is actually lower than the amount of shows that we've done in office hours, but I'd rather be conservative in what we do. It's a lot. Anyways, just as a review, VidCon is today. VidCon is tomorrow in Anaheim. We had Beverly Hills last night late with Sean Dill. We're leaving for New York today. We'll be in San Diego in the morning, New York, and at Fanatics Fest. So reach out to us, meet up, holding court, speeches, interviews, and a VIP dinner for the Unstoppable Foundation. We all know what that is. We are doing 2 or 3 fundraisers a week, slowly but surely building up a nest egg for others. Text me if you want to join us, but Gigi snapped off of my list. After New York, we'll be at the Business Growth Aspire Tour on Sunday, the last day of the tour for the Business Growth there in Vegas. Kevin Costner, Gary Vaynerchuk, myself. We have Eddie Wilson and Andrew Cordell, Tim Story, the #1 business tour in the world, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. Once or twice a month, I get to do stuff with the Sharks and so many other great entrepreneurs, David Goggins. If you want to be inspired and also educated, come see us in New York and Las Vegas, meetups, holding courts, interviews, and speeches, VIP dinners. It's all us. David@dmeltzer.com. Text me if you want to be invited to all this cool shit. 949-298-2905. If you don't like to be invited, don't text me. It's that simple. So we have a text community. We will always invite you, not obligate you to come. 949-298-2905. We're in over 200 cities a year. So we make it easy on you. You don't got to travel very far. David@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. God bless you. Have a great day.